Amendments? Any objection?
The amendments clarify that the transit occupancy tax does not apply to booking fee when rooms are booked online.
Okay. Any objection on these amendments? We'll take a voice vote on these amendments. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed? The ayes have it. The amendments are adopted. Mr. Calderon. Oh, we have to take up the bill. Clerk will read SB 848. Clerk will read.
Senate Bill 848 by Senator Hollingsworth, an act relating to taxation and declaring the urgency thereof to take effect immediately.
Mr. Calderon.
Yes, Madam Speaker and members, this bill clarifies that any existing transit occupancy tax would not apply to the booking fee when a room is booked online. And this is consistent with Priceline.com, Inc. versus the City of Anaheim, where the court found that the transit occupancy tax does not apply to the booking fee. It would apply to the actual rental price of the room, but not to the booking fee. I ask for an aye vote.
Mr. Nava?
Yes, I think I rise in seeking clarification of the measure. I think I can speak for most of the members on the floor in that my office has been receiving a great many comments from cities with respect to how this is going to impact their revenues. Now, I understand that what Mr. Calderon has said, that this is an attempt to be consistent with a court decision, but I haven't seen any of that language anywhere. And before I vote in support of this and in opposition to my cities, I need to know a little bit more information.
Ms. Harkey?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Same from myself as well, Mr. Calderon. We're getting conflicting reports on this, and since it's new, I'd like to have a chance to really review it. I've heard that the intent is exactly as you've stated. That's the intent. The cities, however, are bombarding our office saying that no, what's going to happen is that the TOT will be charged on the entire amount, including the booking fee, but that the cities will only receive the amount designated to the room, and that in fact the TOT on the booking fee, and that will remain as an extra fee for the booking agents. So I think that's probably wrong, but anyway, we need some clarification on it to be sure.
Mr. Solorio.
Thank you, Madam Speaker and members. I rise too with concern. I'm going to lay off for now. It's my understanding this isn't part of the budget deal, so I don't know whether it is or it isn't. I do know that this bill was a regular bill during the regular session that didn't come to us. Maybe this ought to go back in the next regular session. I know two of my cities are two top 10 cities, and the big cities have a formal letter in opposition to this bill. It hurts cities to the tune of about $1.5 billion. So I definitely would like to hear more about this before we move forward. And at this point, I cannot vote yes or no. Thank you.
Mr. Liu.
I rise in opposition to this bill. I have no idea what the policy is, whether it's good or not. I've not seen the language. This is exactly the sort of thing that we said we weren't going to do, which is deal-making behind closed doors. And I'm getting conflicting reports of what this bill does or does not do. I'm going to vote no, and I urge everyone here to vote no to send a message that this has got to stop.
Ms. Caballero.
Thank you, Madam Speaker and members. I would ask you to vote no as well. I think we need to oppose any efforts to undermine local government's authority to collect the transient occupancy tax from online travel companies. This particular issue is in litigation all over the country. And for us to preempt that litigation at this particular point in time, number one, when it's not part of our own budgets, number two, so it doesn't need to be dealt with as part of our own budget process, number two, where it is going to tremendously impact local government's authority to collect a tax that it was within their purview, their right to collect, I think sends the wrong message at the wrong time. And so I would respectfully ask for a no vote on this bill.
Seeing no further questions or debate, Mr. Calderon, you may close.
Well, Madam Speaker and members, the transit occupancy tax as it's written in law, relates to a tax associated with the privilege of occupying a room. The privilege of occupying a room, which is paid by the hotel. If you go in and you book a room and they quote you a price, and you take that room, then you're booked for the privilege of taking that room. And you're taxed on the price of that room. If you order online and you book a room, the occupancy tax applies to the price of the rental price on that room. What cities are trying to do is expand the occupancy tax to the booking fee that online companies get for providing the service online to people who come on and book their rooms. Now, people who come online and book their rooms resulted in $180 million in taxes last year. It increases the amount of activity and commerce because these are rooms that would not otherwise be booked. These are rooms that would go empty with no tax attached to it. So what this bill does is it simply protects what the online company gets back for providing the service of booking the room. Now, you'll have all your cities will come, send in all kinds of alerts, and because they understand they've already lost this case in Orange County, and they're probably going to lose it again. But you got to look at the fairness. And for those who won't vote for this, then they're voting to allow their cities and counties to tax additionally and imposing a tax that shouldn't be imposed. I ask for an aye vote.
Clerk will open the roll. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. Mr. Calderon moves the call. Okay, members, we're going to lift calls. We're going to lift calls in order that they're on your computer. SB 870, clerk will post. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. Mr. Calderon moves the call. SB 854, clerk will post. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. Mr. Calderon moves the call. File item 856. Clerk will read. Clerk will post. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. Mr. Calderon moves the call. File item 857. Clerk will post. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. Mr. Calderon moves the call. File item 866. Clerk will post. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. Mr. Calderon moves the call. File item SB 208. Clerk will post. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. Clerk will close the roll, tally the votes. Ayes 56, no 0. Measure passes. On the urgency, ayes 56, no 0. On the bill. SB 866. Clerk will read. Clerk will post. SB 867. Clerk will post. Sorry. SB 866. Clerk will post. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. Mr. Calderon moves the call. File item 867. Clerk will post. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. Mr. Calderon moves the call. File item 855. Clerk will post. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. Mr. Calderon moves the call. SB 848. Clerk will post. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. Mr. Calderon moves the call. Okay, members, we are on recess upon call of the chair. No passes. On recess. Call the chair, no passes.